God never meant your tears to be permanent. The one who hurt you was not the final chapter. You didn't lose love. You outgrew pain. And what broke you was never sent to stay. That heartbreak was a lesson, not a destination. It was a door closing, so another could open quietly. God sees the love you still carry despite the wounds. He sees how you stayed kind when life hardened you. Your true love is waiting, not the one who hurt you, but the one who will heal you. Sometimes the hardest truth to accept is that the person who hurt you was never meant to stay, no matter how deeply you loved them. You prayed for them to change. You waited. You endured things you shouldn't have had to endure, all because your heart believed love meant holding on. But God was watching every tear you cried in silence. He was listening to every prayer you whispered when no one else knew how broken you felt. And while you were blaming yourself, wondering why love kept slipping through your hands, God was gently removing what was draining you. Not because you weren't enough, but because you were meant for something healthier, something kinder, something real. The love that hurt you was never a punishment. It was a lesson preparing you for the love that will finally feel like peace. And if you listen closely, you'll realize this message found you right on time. 1. Why the one who hurt you was never your true love. There is a painful moment many people never talk about. The moment you realize that love shouldn't have required so much suffering, that the nights you cried yourself to sleep, the excuses you made for someone else's behavior, the way you slowly lost pieces of yourself just to keep someone close. None of that was love asking you to grow. It was pain asking you to leave. The person who hurt you didn't enter your life to stay forever. They came as a mirror, reflecting wounds you hadn't healed yet, and teaching you what love should never cost. God never intended love to feel like constant anxiety, silence, or self-doubt. He never intended you to beg for basic care or question your worth in someone else's hands. And yet you stayed because your heart is loyal, because you love deeply, because you believed endurance meant devotion. But God saw something you couldn't see then. He saw how much you were shrinking to keep someone comfortable. He saw how you were calling pain patience and loss love. The truth is, the one who hurt you couldn't love you the way your soul needed because they were still at war with themselves. And God, in His quiet mercy, refused to let you build a future on broken ground. Letting them go wasn't punishment, it was protection. Because your true love doesn't require you to bleed to prove your worth. 2. How God uses heartbreak to prepare you for the love that's waiting. Heartbreak has a cruel way of convincing you that you failed at love, when in truth, love was refining you. God never wastes pain. Every tear you cried, every sleepless night, every moment you questioned your worth, none of it was meaningless. It was shaping your heart to recognize what real love feels like when it finally arrives. The love that hurt you stripped away illusions. It taught you boundaries where you once had none, self-respect where you once overgave, and discernment where you once ignored red flags in the name of hope. God allowed that chapter not to harden you, but to deepen you. You didn't lose your softness. You learned where to place it. Heartbreak slows you down so you stop choosing from loneliness and start choosing from clarity. It teaches you the difference between chemistry and safety, between attachment and peace. And while it feels like something precious was taken from you, what was actually removed was what could never love you properly. God was preparing you to receive a love that doesn't confuse you, doesn't drain you, doesn't leave you questioning your value at the end of every day. A love that speaks gently, stays consistently, and chooses you without hesitation. The waiting isn't punishment, it's alignment. Your heart is being calibrated to recognize the one who will not wound it. And when that love arrives, it won't feel chaotic or dramatic. It will feel calm, familiar, and deeply right, like God whispering, "This is what I was saving you for." 3. Why? The love that hurt you could never stay. Sometimes the hardest truth to accept is this: the person who broke you was never meant to keep you. They were a lesson, not a destination. And God, in His quiet wisdom, knew that if they stayed, you would slowly disappear trying to keep them. The love that hurt you came with conditions. You had to explain yourself too much. You had to shrink your needs. You had to carry the relationship alone on days when love should have felt light. God saw how often you prayed for change, how often you waited for effort, how often you blamed yourself for someone else's inability to love you well. And that's when God intervened, not to punish you, but to protect what was left of your heart. Because some people don't leave because they don't love you. They leave because they cannot love you the way your soul requires. God removes what keeps you stuck in emotional survival mode so He can prepare you for emotional safety. The ending you didn't choose was mercy disguised as loss. If that person had stayed, you would have mistaken struggle for love and chaos for passion. The love God is preparing for you will not ask you to beg for clarity or consistency. It will meet you where you are and walk with you, not ahead of you and not behind you. You weren't abandoned. You were redirected. And one day, when the right love stands in front of you, you'll realize why it had to end the way it did. Not because you weren't enough, but because God was making room for something far greater. 4. The quiet signs. The love God is sending will feel different. The love God is preparing for you will not arrive with anxiety attached to it. You won't feel the need to constantly decode silence or overthink tone. Instead, there will be a calm recognition in your spirit. Something steady, something that doesn't rush you or pressure you to prove your worth. This love won't awaken your fears. It will soften them. You'll notice that you can be honest without rehearsing your words. You won't feel like you're too much for having emotions or not enough for needing reassurance. The right love will meet you in your humanity, not demand perfection from you. Another sign is how your nervous system responds. Your body will finally exhale. The tension you've carried from loving the wrong person, the tight chest, the racing thoughts, the constant anticipation of disappointment will slowly dissolve. Peace will replace urgency. This love won't feel like a puzzle you're trying to solve. It will feel like alignment, like two lives learning each other without manipulation, without emotional tests, without power struggles. There will be space for growth, not fear of abandonment. Every time you speak your truth, you'll also notice something deeply sacred. You won't lose yourself trying to keep this love. Your dreams, your faith, your individuality will remain intact. God never sends a love that requires self-erasure. And perhaps the most powerful sign of all, this love will not compete with God for your attention. It will bring you closer to who you were always meant to be. Not pull you away from your values or inner peace. This is how you'll know, not by intensity, but by safety, not by chaos, but by clarity. 5. Music. Why waiting is God's final act of love before the right one arrives. Waiting feels like absence, but in God's language, waiting is preparation. It is the sacred pause where your heart unlearns survival and relearns trust. God doesn't delay love to test your patience. He delays it to protect your future. In the waiting, something subtle but important happens. You stop confusing attention with affection. You begin to recognize that real love doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives intentionally. God uses this season to gently detach you from the past so you don't carry old wounds into a new connection. Waiting teaches you discernment. It sharpens your intuition so you no longer choose from loneliness, fear, or the need to be chosen. Instead, you learn how to choose from wholeness. You stop chasing and start attracting what aligns with your healing. This season also restores your relationship. Wait yourself. You learn how to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them through people who can't hold you. You rediscover joy without needing someone to validate your existence. And that inner stability becomes the foundation for the love God is preparing. Because the love that's coming doesn't need to fix you. It needs to meet you. God waits until you're strong enough to receive a love that stays, honest enough to recognize it, and healed enough not to sabotage it. The waiting isn't empty time. It's God rearranging your life so love doesn't arrive too early or too late, but exactly on time. And when it does, you'll realize something quietly profound. The love that hurt you had to leave, so the love that honors you could finally find you. If you're still here, it's because something inside you recognized these words, not as a story, but as a mirror. Maybe you're still carrying the echo of a love that ended without closure. Maybe part of you still wonders if you missed your chance at happiness. But hear this gently. What ended did not escape you. It was released. God is not asking you to forget the pain. He's asking you to trust what He's replacing it with. Your heart has not been delayed. It has been protected. Every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every goodbye you didn't want, each one was God quietly saying, "This isn't where your story ends. Love is not behind you. It is ahead of you, waiting for the version of you that no longer settles for confusion disguised as connection." And one day, when the right love stands before you, you won't have to question it. You'll feel it in the stillness, in the safety, in the way your soul finally rests. You'll understand why God asked you to wait, and you'll be grateful He didn't let you stay where you were being hurt. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, don't scroll away. Leave a heart in the comments as a quiet sign of faith. Faith that what God is preparing is worth the wait. Share this with someone who's still healing in silence. And stay connected here, because the next message may be the one that confirms what your heart has been praying for. You are not forgotten. You are being led.